Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be talking about Halo Infinite multiplayer and answering a few questions like, is it any good? Are there any current bugs? What's bad about it? If you haven't heard and you're still living under that rock, like Patrick Star you are.
Who are you people?
Halo Infinite multiplayer was shadow dropped on Monday right after the Xbox 20 show. A show celebrating 20 years of Xbox, which as expected showed a lot of Halo. Within minutes of the announcement, people flocked to their Xbox and PCs to download it, causing a huge slowdown for Steam, users downloading it, and causing Xbox owners trying to connect to getting a blue screen upon loading. Both issues fixed pretty quickly within the hour. First, let me explain Halo Infinite multiplayer, if you don't already know. Halo Infinite multiplayer is a first-person shooter made by 343 Industries, and is a free-to-play multiplayer part of Halo Infinite, a first-person open-world shooter set on a Halo ring in space. It's for Xbox, Windows Store, and Steam. Now that's a dumbed-down version, but it's also the 6th installment of a beloved franchise, people's last hope for 343, after Halo 4 and 5 practically train-wrecked after Bungie left the development. Now, it's not that Halo 4 and 5 were bad games, however, it just lacked passion in the story, and seemed it had been fumbled around with, and the multiplayer wasn't much to boast about either. Compared to its predecessors, Halo 1, 2 and 3, it just felt an all-round lackluster game. Players spent more time boosting into the air than fighting, and it just became known for letting Halo down. Halo Infinite will be many people's first view of the Halo franchise, and last year when the campaign trailer hit, it was received with mixed reactions, mainly due to the unfinished look on the entire game. Many gamers thought it looked very plastic looking, NPCs and weapons seemed to have lost their love, as well as known designs. The scenery, although looking beautiful, was constantly popping, tearing, and it was not a good look for Halo. And it just didn't represent the power that the Xbox was touting for the next generation. 343 was given an extra year with a delay to polish up this game, and this year they released a brand new trailer looking way better in my opinion. The NPCs seem to have gotten their details back, weapons look better than ever, and the scenery was great, no issues to be seen on the trailer. It's now due out on December 8th, however the multiplayer has been released early, as a beta for the players to experience firsthand. So, onto the game. Is it any good? Now, that depends on your definition of good. So, what I'll do is I'll separate this game into different categories: ease of play, entertainment, replayability, and composition. Now, for me, these are kind of like a fundamental 4. Let's start with ease of play. Halo is not a typical first-person shooter. Majority of new players expecting Call of Duty level play will be in for a shock. Halo is much more of a team play game. Lone wolves will struggle, as even when selecting solo in ranked play, you'll get put into a team. It's just recognizing that you are playing as an individual. Playing as a team and tactically playing will most of the time win a match. However, the game doesn't just throw you into the wolves. There's training space allowing working on aim and movement, bot matches allowing you to try multiple game modes and maps with 4 other players versus 4 bots. Pretty handy for new players. And then there's the 3 playlists to choose from: quick play, ranked, and big team battles. But more on them soon. In terms of ease of play, I would probably give this about a 6 out of 10. There's a lot of training opportunities, but the menus can become a complicated mess, and it's not entirely casual in the quick play. A lot of high ranked players will use it to chill out and relax. Let's move on to entertainment. The Halo franchise didn't pique my multiplayer interest in Halo 4 and 5, as in my opinion, the best Halo was 3. The reason for this was due to how easy and casual the game was, yet the capability of competitive play when wanted. There was a huge variety in game modes, weapons, and rotations. Hours of fun could be found and lost while playing Halo 3 multiplayer. Plus, we always remember those days of teabagging an enemy when we finally took them out. However, I loaded up Halo Infinite, customized my Spartan, joined my team, and hit play. I didn't need a refresher with training or bots. I went right into casual and felt at home. It's like the game opened its arms and said, "You're home," and I couldn't wait to go teabag my first enemy. That's not to say it couldn't be better. There are some game modes from the old games I'd love to see make a return. SWAT, free-for-all, there's a few. Now, SWAT was essentially a headshots only game mode. Every player gets a BR, and body shots do hardly any damage, grenades do hardly any damage, and vehicles usually are non-spawnable. Now, you could also melee the enemies, but getting close enough to the enemy, not going to happen. And I'm sure it'll come back in future, so it's not all bad. Right now, we have a few game modes to play in the quick play 4v4 playlist. You have Slayer, your classic team deathmatch battle to 50 eliminations. Oddball is a reverse hot potato. You want to hold this skull until your point limit is reached. Capture the flag, a classic capture the flag game. Then you have one flag. Teams take turns to capture and defend a single flag. And lastly, we have Strongholds. Teams fight to control 3 objective points. Capturing 2 capture points will grant points. Fill up your points meter to win the game. Next, you'll play Ranked. It's a 4x4 playlist again. You'll play Capture the Flag, Oddball, Slayer, and Strongholds. You haven't got much choice here, but you'll be mainly focused on getting your rank. To do this, you play 10 initial rounds for the game to work out your player level, from Bronze to Onyx. Then, as you win games and play more, your rank will grow with you. This is then used to put you into games with players matched with your skill. Finally, we'll be doing Big Team Battle. There's 2 new game modes for Big Team Battle, and that's Stockpile, where you collect power cores, enter them into the collection points to score a point. You need 5 power cores to charge up, and all the Big Team Battle games are 12v12, so expect mayhem. The other mode is Total Control. The other new mode is Total Control. Control all the areas to score points. Now, in Big Team Battles, you have more vehicles, plus bigger ones like Scorpion, a tank. You'll also get a lot more weapon drops to help sustain the teams. Spawn points are scattered throughout the map to help regain control of the game. All seems pretty simple, but again, 12v12 matches makes it chaos, unpredictable, and possibly the funniest game mode you'll play with friends. That's all game modes in the game currently, and there are multiple different maps. I do feel some previous game modes from other games are missing, and I would really like them. Now, another thing missing is the option to search for a specific game mode, but again, that's just me personally. However, I will say, with the mix-ups and there's still a good amount of game modes, I'm having a lot of enjoyment in this game. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10 for enjoyment, and I just need more in future. Okay, we have a 6 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10. Let's move to replayability. This comes down to one thing. It's multiplayer, and there are a bunch of modes with Ranked, Quick Play, and Big Team Battles. If you like your first-person shooters, or you like the Halo franchise, you know there are countless of hours of fun to be had. Plus the promise of more in future and playing with your friends and mixing it up is what gives Halo Infinite multiplayer plenty of replayability. I'd easily say it's a 10 out of 10. Last one, competition. Competitive Halo is huge, and I feel with the new free-to-play model, it's only going to be bigger than ever. The competition is already on with players like Courage, Dr. Disrespect, Noah J, Ninja, Nadeshot, and Penguin, all trying to get the coveted Onyx rank. You can get there too, but the competition is fierce, and I thoroughly expect competitive players to enjoy it. I'll give this 10 out of 10, and with the esports roadmap released, it will only get more competitive. So there's my ranking for all the aspects of the multiplayer. In total, I would give it a 9 out of 10. There's more work to be done, and I look forward to seeing what 343 decides to do going forward. I'm really enjoying the game, and looking through Twitter, I have a feeling I'm not the only one. So there's all the great stuff about Halo and all the information that you needed. Let's look at the bad points, because I'm sure there are a few. At this moment, multiplayer runs on a free-to-play model, so a battle pass is granted. We should all know how these work by now, but just in case you don't, as you play, you level up with XP. The XP allows you to move up a player level, getting rewarded every couple of levels for free. However, you can pay a charge for each battle pass and get rewards every level. They do not have a date and a completion time, they are yours until you complete them. Currently, we are looking at a 6-month Battle Pass refresh, with May 2022 being the next Battle Pass release time. Rewards are not paid to win, you receive XP boosts, cosmetics, and armor mods, armor colors, weapon ornaments, etc. But right now, ranking feels very slow, almost to the point that it doesn't feel worthwhile. However, 343 have acknowledged this and will be looking into it. Alongside the Battle Pass, there is a store that seems slightly highly priced at the moment. I think it could be brought down just a touch to seem a bit more worthwhile. While I appreciate the multiplayer is free to play, and we have to look at the fact that this is still part of a paid game, Halo Infinite, and whilst separated, they will eventually be one. Even Steam has the campaign labeled as DLC, so I think this should be taken into consideration. Lastly, I've mentioned it a few times now, but bring back game modes missing from the old games. I was a huge fan of SWAT and Griffball, and to have loaded into the game not to see them, it stung a little bit. I have no doubt more content will come in future, but it's still good to mention, as it's a problem due to a lot of previous players having their preferred mode to play. This also adds the lack of searching a single game mode option as a negative, as many players don't like to play Slayer, or they don't like to play objective-based games. Quick play is a good option for people who don't mind the mix, but there should be the choice. And also, there's no ability to turn crossplay off, meaning if you're someone who doesn't want to play with players with keyboard and mouse, then at this moment you still don't have that choice. Majority of the negative things at this moment in time are all to do with giving players the choice of what they want to play, how they want to play it. And I think that's something that 343 will do in future. Now we're on to bugs. As for bugs, I haven't really seen any personally, and a few of my friends have noticed the odd animation bug, but it's not really too much of a problem. It doesn't break the game. However, as a word of warning, mouse and keyboard users trying to play have mentioned that the keyboard and mouse feels a bit sluggish, and have suggested other players use a controller because the controller makes it feel a lot more smooth. Now, I expect this is mainly due to the fact that Halo's roots stand in console. Other than that, I hope you found this interesting. Let me know your opinions on the game if you have played. Any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try to reply. Thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy, please leave a like, maybe subscribe for content like this in the future.